when you see an attack like that and just giving people the opportunity to speak and then others being petrified of it, that's when you look around and you go like, yeah, there's something bigger going on here. Alex Jones was allowed back on Twitter after Elon Musk put a poll out saying, should he be reinstated on the platform? And with a 70% to 30% vote of yes to no, nearly 2 million votes, Alex Jones is now back on X.
Let's take a poll on whether or not to allow free speech. For crying out loud.
Well, he is back.
Yep, he's a little balder, a little beardier, but he's back.
Ready to go. And he was at 1 million followers just a couple days ago. Now he's at 1.5 million followers today, which I would love to scroll down on his page, but I fear that something on his Twitter account could potentially get us banned off YouTube, which is because I believe he's also banned on YouTube, which is crazy. So he's back, and that was a very big deal. And a lot of people were interested in this, as we've talked about Alex Jones in the past. Admittedly, I don't know a whole hell of a lot about it. I hear about him from the periphery over here, kind of the things that he says, the things that he's done, the conspiracy theories that he's had, which have ultimately become true. And it's a really interesting thing. Like, somebody was like, I see you talking about Alex. Like, we had somebody actually not say they no longer wanted to watch the show anymore, because when we were talking about the Alex Jones game, I looked at it as like an actual video game, and I didn't just look at it as like this like, fundraising thing for Alex Jones.
Yeah.
And somebody like got really mad at me about that. They're like, you're just an Alex Jones hater. I'm like, no, the game just was really not good, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't really matter what I think about him. It doesn't really matter if I like or don't dislike him. I actually think, like, it's amazing to see a lot of the things that he said have come to fruition over the year, and there's actual, like, you can see, hey, here it is. I said this in 2005. This happened in 2008. I said this in whatever. And there's video proof of him. But now he's back. And as you put it, Razor, a landslide win, 70-30. That's a pretty good landslide. Apparently, X is in good hands, as people now want to hear all perspectives on the platform, as long as it doesn't come from Camelot 331, who is also still banned.
Or Milo Yiannopoulos, or any of the other people they've deplatformed and still are not there.
Right. What was interesting about this was there was a giant, what are they called? Like a podcast or whatever. What do they call space? A Twitter, an X space, where Alex Jones, Elon Musk, the Tate brothers, and Vivek Ramaswamy, as well as many others, joined in. Did you see this, Razor?
No.
Oh, well, 10 million people tuned in to this. It was a massive thing, and it was about an hour. I guess it was 3 hours long, but there was a 30-minute segment, which I watched on YouTube, where they went back and forth and they talked about the, globalist versus this and this. And it was, while I was listening to it, it was such an amazing, just like, what a time to be alive. And for the first time, I looked at X as this idea of, I saw the idea of what X could be, where you have all these people that you'd never think would come together, and giving them an outlet to actually have that conversation was, like, honestly amazing. It was very, very cool to hear.
Yeah, especially because not that long ago, Elon Musk was asked by somebody, and I mean, by not that long ago, I mean just a few months ago. He was asked point blank, will Alex Jones be allowed back on the platform? This is after he had allowed Donald Trump back on, I believe. So this would have been, what was it, June? Something like May, June, something like that?
Yes.
And somebody asked him point blank, would you allow him on? And he said no, because of what the story about Sandy Hook and whatever, which I guess I never understood. The mainstream news media makes up stories every day. So if he told a fake story, like, I guess that puts him in good company with CNN and MSNBC. Like, I don't see them deplatformed.
Yeah, good point.
So, but I just find it interesting that he's now transitioned into that, right? Like, and I don't think it. I think maybe wasn't it recently that he was on with Tucker Carlson, right? And
Yes.
Tucker, of course, is exclusive to X, or he posts his videos to X or whatever. So I think maybe he provided the bridge, possibly.
Yeah, I think that definitely allowed them the publicity to kind of get the campaign going to get him back on. And I think I could be wrong, but I feel like the whole thing was originated by the Quartering, actually, who put a tweet out to Elon Musk after that interview, and he said something effective like, "Well, he's on with Tucker Carlson. Why can't he just be on the platform at all?" And he's like, "Well," and then Elon Musk responded to that saying, "Well, how about a poll?" And then that's how it happened. So
there you go.
But it was really interesting to kind of hear, like, once again, it doesn't matter what they were talking about. It was just the idea that they could have that conversation, which was the most fascinating thing. You have somebody you have the richest person in the world conversing with the presidential candidate, conversing with the number one conspiracy theorist in the world, conversing with, it's just crazy to think about. And it was really, really amazing. But as you would expect, not everybody is happy about this, Razor.
No,
I know.
Perish the thought.
Now, I don't know who this guy is. I feel like I've seen him show up in my timeline occasionally, but this guy's name is David Leavitt. And he just had a simple question. And I don't know if this is parody or not. I'm not quite sure. But he wants to know how many innocent people will be murdered because Elon Musk allowed Alex Jones back on Twitter.
How many innocent people were murdered before? What? What does it even mean?
The only thing that I can possibly grasp from this is that these people have such a distorted, like, outlook on reality that allowing somebody to talk could potentially lead to somebody being murdered, which is amazing. And Blabs, you're just shaking your head. I feel like that's really all you can do at this point, and just tap them on the head. And I feel like we should only almost be able to just put this person right back in the insane asylum and be like, "Hey, you're broken. Sorry. Let's try to fix
you have
now."
to understand, you go to anyone who's spent any time on like a major college campus in the last 10 years, words are violence now. Right? It's seen as an act of violence, and you will suffer the same consequences as someone who would have committed an act of violence 10 years ago. That's what all this cancellation and such a people is about. You would think that they had, when you hear somebody utter the phrase, "What?" You would think that person killed a puppy in the middle of the road. It's like, you don't understand. They see you as having killed a puppy in the middle of the road. That's how speech is treated now. The idea is to criminalize speech, because if you criminalize speech, then you constrict thought. And that really is ultimately what it's about. It's about providing an intellectual bottleneck through which no one can pass without their say-so.
Well, without getting too into it, you mentioned the college thing, but you saw the, kind of the big story over the weekend was the college professors who, from, was it Pitt and MIT, or no, it was MIT and Penn, and
it was in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it was 3 Ivy League schools, and they couldn't say like pretty much the most basic things, and they ended up floundering all over the place like a fish out of water and looking like total fucking assholes. Anyways, I know one of them actually was removed from their post. They're no longer president of their university. And it's like, you're right. And the idea of these institutions that once were a place where the whole idea of a university was to go find differing perspectives.
Yeah.
And now we're here at the point where it's like, nope. Everyone will think the same. And
yeah, when god awful 2023 SNL is parodying you, like, when you're so bad that SNL is actually parodying their own side, really, really badly, by the way. They might as well have had pillows on their fists. They were handling them with such kid gloves, but still, like, the fact that they even saw fit to parody them after that should kind of tell you something.
Right. But it is bringing it back to
Pillow Fist, by the way, is my G-rated spinoff.
Yeah. But bringing it back to Alex Jones being brought on Twitter, we talk about this podcast being built around common sense, and I am obviously huge on free speech, and I think this is very important. Whether you agree with what he has to say or not, I don't really care. I think that he has the right to say whatever he wants to say, and I think that his track record has shown that he's been right a lot of the time. But the reality is that you will never be right on everything, especially when you have a daily show. So, that's kind of the reality that we live in. I'm sure people will look at things that we said 6 months ago, 9 months ago, and be like, we were totally wrong. It's like, well, yeah, we were wrong sometimes. And we never, if we're always right, that's really fucking boring, really fucking boring. We can do our best we can just do our best, and it is what it is. But there was one really interesting, and I think it was funny point of the whole Twitter space where Vivek is it Vivek?
I think so. Yeah.
Vivek Ramaswamy, who he's I think one of the top 3 or 4 candidates for the Republican presidential candidate. Apparently, during the space, he just kept his microphone on, and he was like taking a piss.
Yes, like they had a Naked Gun moment.
Have you not seen this yet, Razor? You have no idea what we're talking about.
I had no idea. This is genius.
All right, here we go. Listen to this 43 seconds here.
That's the wrong tab.
Oh, sorry. Here you go.
Decide not to have children. That's all I'm saying. And Elon Musk is promoting an optimistic, pro-human future that the science and evidence shows is real and that we need. Gentlemen, I have.
It's awesome, right? So
I love it.
Dark side of Vivek. The camera was on. The mic was on.
Right. The mic was on. Oh, it's on the whole time, huh?
I think he actually comes out of this very well. So here's the last 30 seconds of this.
Yeah, exactly. I want to be clear about my position. I'm super pro-human, and I mean all humans.
Like, these guys are having some really in-depth conversation about world problems and humanity. Like, what will the world look like in 10 years? Vivek is just taking a piss.
Yeah, I want to be clear about my position. I'm super pro-human, and I mean all humans. Humans in America, humans in
Somebody's
Africa,
got their thing
Asia,
open.
and everywhere else.
Got their phone open in the bathroom.
Alex Jones. Someone's got their phone on in the bathroom.
I like how Alex Jones has like a toilet sense. Like,
His
I've heard that
bathroom
sound
senses
before.
are tingling.
I know that sound.
pull your britches up, you son of a bitch! God damn it!
Here we go.
Yeah, that's Vivek. Vivek, that's your phone, Vivek. I'm not able to mute you. Vivek. Perfect. Go ahead, Elon.
Sorry about that.
So,
Casual.
He's like, sorry.
My
Elon
bad.
comes in. This is the best 5 seconds ever here.
All right.
well, I hope you feel better.
I feel great. Thank you.
He owned it.
He's like, hey, feeling good now. Love that.
Damn, that was a long ass pee. Wow.
Wow.
Well, I think he was taking a piss and probably washing his hands, most
probably,
likely.
yeah.
But I love the idea that they've got, hundreds of thousands of people listening to what this conversation, right? And just in the middle of this conversation with like I said, the richest man in the world, presidential candidate, all these people who are all over the place. He's like, well, I'm just going to take a piss in the middle of it. Like, I got to be honest, I'd hold that. I'd hold it for a while.
In the immortal words of Dr. Malcolm, when you got to go, you got to go.
He definitely had to go. But this happened. Obviously, this was a big ripple throughout the weekend. As they saw there were a lot of people who are not happy with this news. This is death that's happening now. Congratulations, Alex Jones. You're going to kill somebody by being on X now and spreading your horrible message. So he was on Steven Crowder this morning, and Steven Crowder is, I think he's on YouTube still, but he primarily streams to Rumble, which, and it has not been confirmed yet, but there this morning during the show in particular, Rumble went down. And the way they're making it sound is, that we're aware of service disruptions and our engineers looking into it. We'll provide an update shortly. This to me, and maybe I'm reading into this too much, this to me says there was an attack.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like a DDoS maybe.
Which has happened several times in the last couple months to Rumble, and they've been able to pinpoint them. In the past, Rumble has actually shown screenshots of where they saw the DDoS attacks come from, and oddly enough, they were from China, which was crazy to.
They have a very extensive cyber warfare division, as do North Korea, by the way.
This whole it's just amazing though to see that obviously we are live on Rumble. They were able to figure it out and figure out the solution. But for me, when you see an attack like that and just giving people the opportunity to speak and then others being petrified of it, that's when you look around and you go like, yeah, there's something bigger going on here. Like that's really fucked up. I can't believe that people would go out of their way to create an attack based off of somebody just being on a podcast of all things. Well, just crazy. But what do you think about this? Leave us a comment down below. We read every single one of them. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button because you have found your home for common sense in the gaming and entertainment worlds.